the day of our binding, many women in the village came to visit us. They brought us sweets, wished us luck, and congratulated us on our official entry into womanhood. Sounds of celebration filled the air. Everyone was happy, laughing, singing, even just talking. But now I know that there are many things that nobody said that day. Nobody said that I could have died. Beauty is pain. At least, that's what many people believe. They think to be beautiful, you must have pierced ears, waxed legs, and the ability to walk in high-heel shoes. Beauty is pain, but is all of that agony really worth it, just to find a husband? That is what the narrator contemplates in The Snowflower and the Secret Van by Lisa C. On the 24th day of the 8th lunar month, Mama pulled out the long bandages she had made. Each was 5 centimeters wide, 3 meters long, and lightly starched. I went first. Mama washed my feet, took one end of the bandage, and began the process of rolling my toes underneath my foot. The idea was to get my toe and my heel to meet, creating a cleft, but leaving my big toe to walk on. Once Mama was finished, she sewed the end tightly shut so the bandage would not loosen and I could not work my foot free. And then she repeated the process on my other foot. Finally, Mama was finished and she called for my sister. But she did not answer. An hour before, I would have been told to go and find her. But for the next 2 years, I cannot even walk down our steps. Dad and sister! Dad and sister! No, I won't go. I won't do it! You're a worthless nothing, an embarrassment to our ancestors. Third sister was pushed into the room. As soon as she fell to the floor, she struggled to her feet, ran to a corner, and cowered there. This will happen. You have no choice. Elder sister and grandmother held her down while Mama hurriedly applied the bandages. The whole time, third sister screamed. I was horrified, but all I could do was sit, stare, and watch. Because by now, growing daggers of agony were shooting up my leg from my feet. Once Mama finished her task, she threw third sister's foot away in disgust, stood, looked at her youngest daughter, spat out a single word. Rufus! And then she turned to me. Get up! The idea was beyond my comprehension. My feet were throbbing. I did my best to hold back tears. But I failed. Mama yanked me out of that chair. The word pain does not even begin to describe the feeling. My toes are locked under my feet, so that all of my body weight fell entirely on those appendages. Walk back and forth, across the room 10 times. This command was nearly unfathomable. Tears coursed down my face as Mama led me across the woman's chamber. I could hear myself whimpering. After our 10 round trips, we were left alone, nearly paralyzed from our physical torment. Yet our trial had barely begun. Neither of us slept that night, but whatever we thought we felt on the first day was twice as bad on the second. We both tried to rip our bandages, but only third sister actually succeeded in freeing her foot. When Mama found out, she beat her arms and legs, rewrapped the foot, and made her walk an extra 10 rounds as a punishment. 2 weeks later, as I was making my trips across the room, I heard something crack. One of my toes had broken. I thought the sound was something internal, something to my own body. But it was so loud that everyone heard it. Move! Progress is finally being made. Move! Walk! My whole body trembled as I made my way across the woman's chamber. By nightfall, the 8 toes that needed to break had broken. Yet I was still made to walk.
I felt my broken toes under every single step I took, for they were loose in my shoes. The freshly created space, where once there had been a joint, was now nothing but a gelatinous infinity of torture. When my bindings were rewrapped, I soaked my feet as usual. But this time, the massage to reshape my bones was beyond anything I had experienced so far. With her fingers, Mama pulled my loose bones back and up against the soles of my feet. A true lady lets no ugliness into her life. Only through pain will you have beauty. Only through suffering will you find peace. I wrap, I bind, but you will have the reward. Another day, when our bindings were removed, I could see the difference between my feet and third sister's. Yes, blood and pus had seeped through my bandages. That was normal. But with third sister, the fluids that oozed from her body had taken on a different smell. While my skin had wilted to the pallor of the dead, third sister's still shone pink. A few days later, third sister's condition suddenly changed. Her skin was hot. Her eyes glittered with water and fever insanity. When Mama saw this, she immediately began to remove the bindings. A disgusting odor infused the room. Once the bindings were fully removed, we saw pus. There was dark green and blood that had coagulated together in a brownish, putrid mud. All of third sister's screams from the past week had taken on a different meaning. Did she know on the first day that something bad might happen? Is that why she resisted? Had Mama made some terrible mistake in her haste? Or was it something else? What had she done in her past life that she deserved this punishment now? Mama scrubbed at those feet, trying to remove the infection. The water in the bucket soon became murky with the noxious discharge. Mother, what are we going to do? Leave her feet open to the air? You know that is the worst thing. Many of her bones are already broken. If I don't bind them, then they will never hear properly. She'll be crippled, unmarriageable. I would rather have her on this earth unmarried than lose her forever. Then she will have no purpose, no value. The next day, she was worse. The village doctor was brought in, only to shake his head. You see, we are powerless to stop the souls of a loved one from leaving for the spirit world. You can fight it, but once death has grasped hold, nothing can be done. She died 4 days later, enduring more pain and more suffering than was fair for such a short life. I watched as my family mourned the loss of a daughter, and it made me wonder, is all of this agony really worth it just to find a husband?